What up? What up? Welcome back to the Bad Podcast, Brad and Dawain. We are your first stop shop when it comes to distractions and chitty chat. We literally almost had the whole show without hitting record, but welcome, man. Happy Monday, happy Tuesday, whenever you're listening, wherever you're at in the big, beautiful world. I'm stealing this from Brad. We appreciate you joining us, Brad. What we're talking about today?
Well, we've been on this podcast for 10 minutes without hitting the record button, and we're going to actually talk about distraction today. And I have an excerpt out of my new upcoming book, Prep Rep Forever. The essence of the grind doesn't just demand your time or your body. It demands focus, belief, and the ability to keep going when no one is watching and every fiber of you wants to quit.
Don't quit.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
What it look like, what it be like, what it do in here. Another episode of the Bad Podcast, Brad and Wayne. And man, super excited to be back in here. Another episode 150, Brad. 150 episodes. We've been jumping on, lining up. I mean, all kind of stuff, man. We've been trying to figure this thing out and having fun and all the things, brother. So I'm excited about that. So that means we're coming up on 3 years. We was talking about this part of the 10-minute pre-show conversation is the 3-year anniversary of the Bad Podcast. And Brad, tell them what we're thinking about doing, man.
Man, so December 7th just happens to be my 38th birthday. And so the 3-year mark will be on December 8th, which is just, again, wild, man. I didn't know we started so close to my birthday 3 years ago. So on that 3-year mark, folks, we're going to do a big celebratory 3-year podcast, a celebration of birth of not just me, but of the Bad Podcast. And let's do a bunch of giveaways, man. Let's do some hats, some sunglasses, some swag, man. We got all sorts of things that we can give away, but let's really make this one a big one. It's the 3-year mark. We'll stream it live. So right now, folks, get your cell phones out. If you're like me, get your calendar out, get your pencil, and mark us down for December 8th because we're going live on December 8th, and we'll drop a time on when we're going live on that date.
For sure, man. For sure, I'm excited. Who knew? We still be going at this thing 3 years in the game. Super cool. Podcasting. I've been doing it for a while, and that's one of my things is like sticking around, man. So I'm not surprised, Brad, but no, I'm just excited and it's all been a joy and fun, man. So before we jump into the topic, man, I have to always shout out everybody, man, that's been watching and listening. We appreciate you guys. We always want to make sure you know that. And it's not just our celebration for 3 years. It's yours as well. You've been rocking with us. A lot of y'all are day one Bad listeners, and we appreciate that. So make sure you tune in, and like I said, we'll have a lot of giveaways, tongue twister, and all those things, man.
Yeah. Thinking about 3 years of staying in the game and staying so consistent in that 3 years, I think of a lot of podcasts that have come and gone. I think a lot of people that have come and gone, and the topic we're going to talk about today is distraction. And a lot of people do get distracted. They have this grand concept, they have this great idea, and then once they begin, their attention is pulled this way, their attention is pulled that way, and they just can't stay consistent long enough to have that breakthrough. And we haven't necessarily had that breakthrough, but we are providing value on the daily. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to really provide some value. Like, this is going to hit home for a lot of folks. So, I always try to relate a lot of the podcasts that we do and the lives that I do, for E2M and just, in my life in general. I try to relate it to my life. And I had a friend reach out to me recently, D, and he said, I'm doing the exact same thing I was doing before. I'm just not getting the same results. And if that's you, I want you to take a step back in your life. I want you to do the third person point of view. I want you to look down upon yourself. Are you distracted? Are you overstimulated? Because we live in an age of overstimulation. We have our cell phones, and I got mine right here. We have our cell phones in our hands at all times. We have their
Do you really, Brad? Hold on.
computer.
Let me pause you there. Do you really have your cell phone? Because there's Brad a delay takes you now. That I mean, he either's gonna respond right away or it's gonna be a few hours like SpongeBob, a few
Yeah.
hours later.
I'm a SpongeBob texter because I will read a text, and if I don't have an immediate response, or if I don't know the answer right then and there, I got to keep that sucker unread. I got to go back and do the unread boy and keep that unread. Otherwise,
It's gone.
yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, this sucker is always with me.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've been there, as
Mm-hmm.
far as the overstimulation thing, and when you are always nervous about something, or
Mm-hmm.
always stressed about something, or
Mm-hmm.
always overstimulated by something, and in cell phones. So right now with my finish line formula, we are doing a 30-day reset, and it's a mental reset. It's a emotional reset.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that we're doing it is for me to get away
Mm,
from my cell phone, and it's an
sure.
accountability contest or challenge. But I'm trying to get away from that cell phone a little bit because I can feel that overstimulation. Uh,
Mhm.
and the reference that I used a couple of weeks ago is jumping into traffic. Traffic's going in 100 miles an hour. And if you get up and the first thing that you do is look at your cell phone, whether it's social media or your emails or your text messages, it's like jumping in that traffic and trying to keep up with the 100-mile traffic versus, taking a look at it, doing some reset breaths, coming back to base, finding yourself internally versus jumping out into society and getting right into the rat race.
Mhm.
It's doing is really messing with your sympathetic nervous system,
Yep.
your cortisol levels, your blood sugar levels. You may be doing the same thing you were before physically, but deep down inside, your nervous system has taken over essentially. And without, because I'm not certified in talking about this. I just know it through the fitness world and in the health world. I do know that your sympathetic nervous system takes over essentially, elevates your cortisol levels, elevates your blood sugar level, and there's a reason you're doing the same thing, but you ain't getting the same results. And it's because you're stressed. It's because you're overstimulated. It's because you're distracted by technology.
Brad, that's so many, so many directions,
You
so
should have
many
cut me off at one point.
good
Man, you know
points.
how once I
So I
start,
mean, like we got to break this thing down, man.
break it down.
So first, I'm gonna start with the cortisone thing and the adverse effect in the bodybuilding world.
Mhm.
Actually, when you are in prep, that's something you have to watch because it will cause you not to lose weight.
Yeah.
It'll cause you to retain water. Your body goes in fight or flight mode. And so, like, a lot of times, I mean, I only did one show, but I follow a lot of guys like before they step on stage, like they're taking naps, like they're trying to keep the
Yeah.
cortisone low, get that, getting extra sleep because if it goes up because there's a lot of pressure and a lot of tension, then your abs won't show as much, your retain water, they call it spilling over, you won't have the dry, thin skin look, and all that had nothing to do with what you ate because they ate perfectly. These are elite guys.
Mhm.
They're counting rice grains. Like it's
Oh
that
yeah.
kind of, you know what I'm saying? It
Mhm.
has nothing to do with your training because these
Mhm.
guys are spending hours in the gym. That's what they do for a living. Like they live for that big check. It all comes down to your cortisone levels and your stress levels, being able to maintain that. And so if you think about it, if it affect elite athletes like that, how much more is it going to affect regular guys like ourselves that, if we get stressed and we let everything, the world pop and we're not eating perfect, we're eating the
Mhm.
best we can. We're not in the gym hours a day because we got a regular job to work. So, whenever I don't know who the person was, but whenever
Mhm.
they said that, that's probably the first place I would look
Mhm.
is your stress level. Like how can you
Mhm.
can you reduce it? How can you like be conscious of it? Because sometimes, Brad, sometimes once you're conscious of it, then you can make steps to correct
Mhm.
it. And
Mhm.
but a lot of times people don't even know. And now we might be educating somebody, or even if
Mhm.
that person is listening, you know, now they can be conscious of it, because that one thing can cause you, I mean, you can do everything right.
Oof.
And if you are stressed, you will not drop a pound. You may gain a pound.
Yeah.
You will not, see the results that you're looking for, man.
Mhm.
So, I'm gonna let you talk, but
Mm.
I think there's a direction we should go with that. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is perfect. And you had mentioned being so spot on with your diet. Like these folks are getting paid to be on stage, and if
Mm-hmm.
they're measuring at the micro level, per grain of rice, but if they're not recovering, if they're not prioritize that recovery, their sleep, that kind of thing, and they're seeing that body change, like, well, not you because you're on stage, but for me, like I have a handful of chips, or a handful of cookies
Right.
or whatever. If I compound that plus the stress and plus
Right.
the lack of recovery, like it's going to have terrible adverse effects. So I just
Right.
I just Googled real quick factors that increase cortisol: lack of sleep,
Mm-hmm.
overtraining,
Mm-hmm.
caffeine, illness, injury, poor diet, medication. And I the reason that I wanted to go there is because you had mentioned change, right? When you
Mm-hmm.
look in the mirror, you see change. No, not really. You never see
Mm-hmm.
the change until that one day you're like, whoa, aha.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're conscious of that, just like you had said. You have to be first conscious of it. But
Right.
what happens is you're stressed a little bit on day one. And then day two, you're a little bit more stressed. And day three, you're a little bit more stressed. And what happens is, sometimes that leads to procrastination, which in turn increases that stress level. So I think a lot of times with the stress, you have to confront it head on,
Mm.
and not necessarily in the sense of trying to solve all the problems at once, breaking it down to that micro level, solving one problem at a time, taking action in one bucket at a time. See, in our society, in our world, a lot of folks think that they have to have their hands in multiple buckets, and they
Mm.
do a little bit in this bucket and a little bit in that bucket and a little bit of this bucket, and that's going to solve the world's problems. That's not going to solve the problem. You have to
Right.
have your hand in this bucket. Don't procrastinate in this bucket. Be excellent in this bucket. Close that bucket and then move on to the next bucket, and that will reduce that stress level. It will help with this overstimulation and just rat race of a lifestyle, and then it will bring those cortisol levels down. It will bring that stress level down. It'll bring that blood sugar level down, and it will help out with that body composition thing that you're supposedly lacking.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you kind of touched on this before. A lot of people, the phone brings stress. And I know
Mm,
this firsthand
mm.
because there is a notification right now to this day. There is a sound
A sound.
that if I hear it, my stress level go up.
Ugh.
And people that are still in corporate world, they know this sound, man. It's
Please
that
do tell this sound. Do you have it on the?
I listen,
I just had a sound go off on my
right.
computer.
It's that Teams notification, man. That Teams, that Outlook Teams app or whatever. That
Yep.
notification, bro.
Yep.
If I hear it, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
who wants to,
Yeah.
because back when I was in corporate,
Mhm.
I had Teams on my phone, I had Teams everywhere. And I hear that sound, bro, and my stress levels just went up, just immediately,
Yeah. Mhm.
and I mean, now we use text, with
Right.
E2M, we're text. So I don't know if it's a friend, the business or nothing. I don't know. So it's a little bit less stress though, if you think about it. It's because it's just a text notification.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's amazing how the phone, and we talk about distraction, how
Mhm.
that in itself, just a sound can cause stress to go up, can cause
Mhm.
cortisol levels to change.
Mhm.
And just thinking about it to myself right now, like I might like ditch my phone like the
Yeah.
night before the
Yeah.
show. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah. Absolutely.
I just thinking it through, like, because I want
Mhm.
to, I'm really trying to, make a good presentation. Like
Mhm.
I might just, because, and I was gonna say this when you first started talking about it. Everybody knows I have my phone with me all the time. Like
Mhm.
everybody around me, it's the running joke. Dwayne always on his phone. Always.
Mhm.
It's my wife has finally surrendered to understand that I'm
Right.
always. It used to be like close to fights, but
Mhm.
now because work is on it now
Sure.
for sure. But Brad, I would, long as I know, I mean, if they're with me, I'm even better. But if my kids, my wife, and my parents we would all move to North Dakota in a cabin, no phones, I would be happy as a goose. I would be happy as a goose because all I need to know is that they're okay. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, the reason I have my phone is to make sure my people are okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as I know they're okay, I don't need I tell my wife all the time, the social media is not a real place. Like
Right.
I don't need it. Like it is no like I have to get this stimulation. And I know this is it. Listen, we getting distracted in our but I had to put that out there because a lot of people know me synonymous with phone. That's the case, but I promise you I don't need it. As long as I know my people good, I'm like I could never get on social media again and be happy.
Yeah.
As long as I know everybody's safe.
Yep. So. Well, let me know when you're going to move to North Dakota. I'll be getting the cabin next door to you guys, and I'm bringing the fam out to ND. I'm telling you, dude, that sounds like an absolute dream. And just a recommendation when you get close to that stage. I almost recommend and encourage to almost wean off of that, because if you just like cold turkey, and maybe it won't affect you or impact you, but if you go cold turkey with that, I'm just putting my phone in a box and I'm not going to touch it for 24 hours or whatever. Maybe that wouldn't impact you, but for the normal person, that would might actually have reverse effects. I don't know.
So that makes sense because we see it with our kids. Like that is the ultimate punishment, is taking their device.
Right.
Like you take their devices like no!
End of
the world. And so okay. Golly, so many tangents.
Yeah.
So my era, the mid 40 to mid 40, we are, and no offense to anybody, we are the perfect technology era because we have a great blend of both. We grew up without it. We became adults with it. Yeah. And so that's why I tell my dad, I don't advise this and I don't do this often. We can text and drive because we learn how to drive and text around the same time.
Yeah.
Because old people, they just learn how to text.
Yeah.
Young people right. Young people, they just learning how to drive. So and then so same goes with dependability on the device. We grew up without a device. Sure. And so it's easier for us to say, nah, we're good, as opposed to my kids that freak out when they see a commercial and they can't skip.
Oh my dad, King Kong. This is a commercial, buddy. It says there's 20 seconds left in the commercial. What's 20 seconds? Can we count? I'm like, you can if you want. I ain't counting.
Oh my gosh. So to your point, if you are in the ladder of the group, you may want to wean yourself off.
Yeah.
It could be, you could find out that it could be it could actually add stress.
Yeah.
And discomfort. Yeah. Just if you try to go cold turkey with that.
Yeah. And I mentioned the Finish Line Formula, the challenge that we're doing right now, and it is essentially a digital detox. It's a cell phone detox, technology detox. And what I'm encouraging my clients to do is just start the first 5 to 10 minutes without your phone. Like it's so natural. It's a coping mechanism, really, to I always, you go to a movie and you're in line, or you're standing waiting for somebody. Like when I go and pick up my kids from school, everybody, like, they'll be talking to somebody. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you, blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as the conversation goes stagnant, it's get the cell phone out. It's a coping mechanism. It makes you feel good, right? It gives you an outlet almost. But so that's what I was going to say is try to start the first 5-10 minutes of your day without your cell phone, because again, it's like jumping in traffic at 100 miles an hour and trying to keep up with that traffic. And it really puts us in that comparison game, because if I get on social media first thing in the day and I see that Dawain has made a social media post, and I've seen Mandy's done a social media, well, guess what? Now I got to make a social media post, and then I go into my other social media outlet and I see this and I try to do that, and it's just it's a rat race lifestyle. But if you start the first 5 to 10 minutes of your day with no technology, no cell phone, no nothing. It will really help with those cortisol levels. It will help with that stress level. And then take that 5 minutes, turn it into 10 minutes. Take that 10 minutes, turn it into 20 minutes. And
Right.
then, what's going to happen is you're not going to be so reliant on that technology or that device. And then hopefully in turn, down the road, it's not really a coping mechanism. It's not that outlet. You don't need it. And I'm trying to be better when I go and pick up my kids. I try to leave
Mm-hmm.
my cell phone right in the truck. And it's hard for
Mm-hmm.
me to do that because, just like you, I'm attached to that thing. Like I
Mm-hmm.
always feel like, well, I'm going to get that one message that's going to
Yep.
change the trajectory of my day. Well, listen, 5 minutes without that message, probably not going to matter. Like you said, like if it, I pretty much know my wife is in good safekeeping. My kids are in good hands. Like I pretty much know that my people are taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
That text message or that email can wait 5 minutes.
Yep. Yeah. No. 100%. And yeah, I try to be conscious of it as well. Walking the kids up to the building. Unless something's going on, like
Right.
because we have our little emergencies here and
Yeah.
there, and I have to lock in.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I try to be conscious of that. And then I also notice, like I try to do the same thing in the morning, for two reasons. I mean, one, not to, like you said, jump in the 100-mile-an-hour traffic, but two, it makes me late to the gym every time.
Oh, every time. Because
Every time.
one post leads to
Every
about
time.
35. Yes.
Every time, bro.
Yes.
It I if I open my phone, because okay, this when I get up, because my wife is still asleep, I get my clothes, I go to the bathroom, close the door, turn the light on, and I weigh myself. And then I'm posing for at least 2 or 3 minutes. Like I
Yeah.
gotta practice my
Yeah.
posing.
Yeah.
If I grab that phone anywhere
Mm.
between the shower and them clothes,
Mm.
it's a wrap. I
Game
got a
over.
little stool in there. One time I sat down on that stool and it was like, my wife was like, "You still here?" Like, jeez, my
It's
bad.
8 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely, it's really important to find that balance.
Mhm.
Because I for one can tell nobody not to be on the phone, because
Mhm.
I am, like,
Sure.
I'm always on the
Mm.
phone.
Mhm.
But again, I could not be and be happy.
Yeah.
No issues there. But
Yeah.
I really want, it's funny because I remember when y'all first introduced that challenge, and I was like, don't we want them posting on social media? Like, why are you
Mhm.
trying to put a phone on?
Mhm.
We need it for
Mhm.
business.
Yeah.
But I guess, that, and honestly, that goes to our compassion for our folks, man.
Sure.
We want them to be better, no matter
Mhm.
what, we, and in the long run, it'll still benefit
Yeah.
everybody, not
Right.
just them, but us as well.
Yeah, that's a great call out, Dawain, because that's at the very foundation of what E2M is and what you are, what I am. We do want to take care of our folks, and health is wealth, baby.
Yes,
Health is
sir.
wealth, and if you can keep that stress level down, that's going to be one of the big answers and big parts of the equation to really live a fulfilling life. And let's leave these folks with a call to action, man. Once this podcast is over, so this you may hear this first thing in the morning or mid afternoon or at night. As soon as this podcast ends, put your timer on for 5 minutes. Put that cell phone out of reach. Put it somewhere you're not going to go and instantly grab it. And just spend 5 minutes with your kids or your parents or your aunts, uncles, somebody close to
Pets.
you. Yeah, your pets, absolutely. 5 minutes just detached from all technology. It may be a challenge. And I'm going to tell one story before we get out of here. So my sister was one of the first people that had a cell phone that I knew. It was 2001, 2000, somewhere in there, 2002. We
Yep.
were in middle school. And one of my good friends in high school, we bet my sister $20. She couldn't go a day without her cell phone, a school day without her cell phone. So I don't know, 7 to 2 o'clock or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh yeah, easy 20." She lasted about 30 minutes before she
Ah!
started gnawing on her fingernails. She started chewing her fingernails. She ain't a fingernail chewer.
Yeah.
But it's amazing what that detachment will do to somebody. So just take that one and apply it to wherever you need to apply it. And 5 minutes, No technology.
2001. What was she doing? Playing Snake on the Nokia phone? Like
No,
what?
man. She was a texting fiend. Like
Oh, okay.
I mean, she had, I don't
2001.
know.
Who was she texting?
I don't know, not me, because I didn't have a cell phone. Like I said, there was like when I was in school, one of my best friends had a cell phone. My sister had a cell phone. That was the only people at my school
Gotcha.
that I knew immediately that had phones. But outside of that, I have no idea who she was texting. She might have been texting herself. I have no idea. But
That's so funny.
30 minutes she lasted before she started like just going ham on her fingernail. So 5 minutes, folks. Detach yourself from all technology, and you'll see those benefits. It ain't going to happen overnight.
Right.
We've mentioned this a handful of times. Just like fitness, you're not going to see results overnight, but every day, just get away from your cell phone for 5 straight minutes, not 5 scattered minutes.
All right, y'all. Till next time. Out of here.
Yeah.